This is not a French toast, you know, this is something super special that looks like if it was filled with a nice custard or something. This is the... So guys, with the ingredients, we're gonna start with the most important, and actually I'm starting this video 2 days before because we're gonna keep them for at least 12 hours in our mix. And basically, that's the secret to get them so special as they do in the Basque country. What we want is a loaf, a whole brioche loaf. It would be important, in my opinion, that it's the whole loaf, so we can cut them and give them the size that we want for this recipe. So, 2 days before, I'm gonna take this bread as it is, or it comes in a different way, I would foil it, and I'm gonna put it in the fridge for 2 days, because what I'm looking for is that the bread slightly dries out, so then later it can stand for 12 hours in that liquid. So this, just as I said, in the fridge for a couple days. So see you in 2 days. Ciao. 2 days after, my bread is ready to soak in this beautiful butter that we're gonna make. So what we're gonna need for the butter: milk, cream, sugar, one egg yolk, and I have here half of a vanilla bean. The procedure, we're gonna be clever and efficient. First thing, I'm just gonna put here my milk, only my milk, okay? We don't need to warm up the butter, but I want to melt the sugar here. So what I'm gonna do is warm up a little bit the milk with the sugar, and then when I have that ready, I will put the rest of the ingredients. So I'm just gonna put this here at low heat, and we're gonna just stir it a little bit. And in the meanwhile, I'm gonna prepare my bread. As I said, after 2 days in the fridge, it's slightly dry, which is exactly what we're looking for. We want to remove the edges from here and from here. I'm gonna cut it in slices of something like 3 fingers, more or less. This is the size that we want for a Torrija toast, for this caramelized Torrija. We want it thick, so we can also later toast it properly, caramelize the outside, and still get a really fluffy and moist and delicious inside, okay? So, more or less. Okay, there we go. You can see that the bread is dry, ready to soak for the crazy amount of 12 hours in the butter. That's what makes this recipe so special. Don't forget, we want to melt all the sugar here. And in the meanwhile, I can show you guys how to open one of these vanilla beans. It's pretty easy. You get a sharpened knife and you press slightly. So you're opening the bean, just like this. And now with the same knife, you can already, and you get all the substance. This, you know, it doesn't even need to boil. We just want to warm it up a little bit in order to melt the sugar, but I think that's already enough. Sugar is melted. I'm just gonna put the rest of the ingredients that are, of course, cold. That's gonna help me cool down the whole batter, because I need to use it cold for soaking the bread. So the cream, one egg yolk, and of course the queen of these torrijas, the vanilla. Can you use vanilla extract? Well, yes, you can, but it's never gonna be the same. I also love to find those beautiful black dots, you know. Our butter is ready, and it's room temperature again. What do we need now? A recipient to put our toast for 12 hours in the fridge, soaked with the butter. Feel creative. Let's see what you got in your pantry. I found this that I think is perfect, you know, because I can use the volume. I mean, you also wanna turn them around at some point. As I said, just find something that is efficient and that you can occupy the maximum volume as possible, so you use the less amount of butter. Well, you want to distribute it. Try to put it all inside of the places. Okay, little by little they will soak. There you go. This is the best way. If you make them super tight, then the volume that you need to cover with the butter is less. Well, I think it just makes more sense to put them like this. But as I said, it's just gonna depend on your recipient. And now I will just bring this to the fridge. I will come back in 6 hours to turn them around, And then I will come back in another 6 hours to toast them. So see you later. And after a minimum of 12 hours in the fridge, in my case 24, I would say, yeah, on a window from 12 to 24 is fine. From 24 hours you should already cook them. Anyway, so after 24 hours, the torrijas have soaked completely almost all the liquids, and that's how you get such a special texture inside of the torrija. We're gonna put them in a tray. Get yourself 2 spatulas comfortable for you to work. Now this is a tricky moment. You have to grab them with care so they don't break. So just get 2 spatulas and look just like this with a little bit of care. And I'm also gonna turn them around. Okay, and we let them chill now in a tray. Look how there's no liquid left. I put them the other way around because, well, just because of gravity, you know. Now I want the liquid to go down. These ones are a little bit more difficult. Well, that was a little bit of an invent, huh? I would say it's more efficient and they preserve better the form if you just place them in a normal position. So now this is the moment where we toast them. A little bit of butter, something like this would do the work. And we're gonna warm up our pan. I'm using stainless steel because I feel like for caramelization and for toasting, it's perfectly fine. We want this at a medium heat, okay? A little bit more than medium, but don't do it too much because otherwise you're gonna burn your torrija. Little bit of butter. I do like this. A generous layer of sugar. Now I grab my favorite tools and with no hesitation and with a lot of confidence directly to the plancha. And the same with this one. Okay, and then we don't move it. We just let it slowly to caramelize and to toast at the same time. It's a little bit of the solids of the butter that they burn super fast. Take a look to this part, and whenever the color is already toasted and caramelized is when we want to turn around. 4 minutes on each side, more or less. So before flipping them, I'm gonna take a quick look to see how they look. I would say, yeah, we're gonna leave it a couple more seconds. Time to flipping them, but before, a little bit of sugar on the top, again, to caramelize them. And with confidence, no hesitation, directly, boom. And the same here. Move them to a different part of the pan so they have a little bit of butter also. Just patience, another 3 to 5 minutes. Some parts of the sugar that are just alone, not next to our torrijas, may get a little bit burned, okay? Our torrija is not burning, okay? So don't worry about that. This is a little bit annoying because it smells really powerful. If we were on a plancha, I would instantly clean that part. I would say this has a beautiful color. Here, I'm gonna take it out. Whenever you're gonna get them out of the pan, you take them and you place them upside down, okay? Otherwise, this part cools down with the tray and you lose it. Now it's gonna cool down and slowly it's gonna get crunchy. For now, it's still moist. Look, this one, that was already a couple minutes ago. It's really hard, it's just like a caramel. This one is a little bit too much. The one and only way to get rid of caramel is just to warm it up again. After a couple of minutes, this already cooled down a little bit. A little bit of a crumble, a beautiful quenelle on top of the crumb. And now we just enjoy it. Gourmet version of a French toast or the gourmet version of the classic torrija, Spanish torrija. This is the Basque people once again masterizing a recipe until it's a delicacy like this one.